Summit. Looks like we're keeping the bar really high this morning, right? So in case you haven't noticed, this year's Challenge or Emerge Summit theme is Challenge Accepted. And so I'm just going to actually jump right into it because we already have introductions. And I work with high school students, so I know that I'm going to lose your attention in a couple of seconds, so I'm trying to keep it interesting, right?
Yeah.
But let's take a second to think about what Challenge Accepted looks like for you. So whatever comes to mind, keep it and hold it for a second. And so when you hear Challenge Accepted, do you think of skydiving? You're like me, that's not the first thing you think about. Maybe you think about being the CEO of your own nonprofit. Or as an introvert, you think about presenting in front of hundreds of people. But for me, Challenge Accepted is a little bit different. For me, Challenge Accepted is using the platforms that I have and I want to be on in order to be more of myself. And when I'm saying platforms, I'm not talking about heels. So you might think I'm making a tall joke because I am 6'2" without the heels, and I know you all were wondering that as well.
I already knew.
But really, I want to be more of me in the spaces that I want to be in. And in order to do that, I realized that I had to go back to school and pursue my MBA.
Right.
Graduate school was always something I wanted to do. But when I graduated and I realized I needed to work full time and then had this immense imposter syndrome kick in, I realized that that felt like an impossible and unrealistic expectation of myself. Being a first generation student and having a lot of the challenges and insecurities that came with that made me feel like I couldn't always relate to the other students in my undergraduate fields and classrooms. And that made me feel like I stood out in all the wrong ways.
Right.
And trust me, I already stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was looking at graduate programs, I made sure that I focused on two different things. The first one was on diversity because I wanted to be able to relate with and also be inspired by my peers who had similar experiences. But I also knew that it was important to be challenged and understand different backgrounds and experiences. Have you ever heard of It Takes a Village?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that that's very important when it comes to developing a leader as well. You don't do that alone. Actually, I had our amazing speakers back here hyping me up for this. And that, yes. And so that's just a reminder of how important collaborative community is.
Right.
And so for me, collaborative community was something that I focused on when I looked into programs as well, because I wanted to be built up and not burnt out. And so that's how I ended up at the UC Davis Graduate School of Management. And then I earned my third Aggie title. Yeah, Aggie's in the house, right? Yeah. So my MBA experience has really pushed me out of my comfort zone, one step at a time. So becoming the Vice President of Internal Affairs at the Student Association was a challenge accepted for me. Marketing, or networking to find a marketing internship was a challenge accepted for me as well. I really do not like small talk. Taking data analysis as a student who avoided math her entire undergraduate career, and then also as an introvert who has been hiding behind a computer screen for the past 2 years, and being up here is a challenge accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess really what I'm trying to say is that challenge accepted doesn't always have to be this dramatic change.
Right.
It can be one of gradual habit. It can be of you saying yes when you really want to say no because something is outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
It can be the habit of becoming fearless, one fearful experience at a time. Trust me, I'm really missing my Zoom room right now. So challenge accepted really is the privilege that you owe yourself to become a better version of yourself, for yourself, but also for your community and the community that got you to where you are. Because again, we didn't do this all alone. We had a lot of support. We had our family, friends, community And we owe it to ourselves and our community to give back. We've heard it today. It's a theme for a reason, right?
Right.
And so, really, to end on this, I really want to just encourage you and keep it short, really, and that's a pun. It's to really challenge you to step up and be a better version of yourself in the spaces that you already are in. Maybe it's also a space that you want to be in, or a space that you want to see in the future as well. All of that is very important, but you need to show up as the best version of yourself every single day, and that looks very different every day as well. It's a process, it's a habit. So today, use it as a challenge accepted to learn something new, talk to somebody else, do that small talk. I need to warm up already. And maybe challenge some previous preconceptions that you may have had about something with some of the new material that you'll learn today. Mm-hmm. And with that, I'd like us to welcome our keynote speaker who will be empowering us to rise to the occasion and accept the challenge. Ryan Royster is our keynote speaker, and he is he is an ethical entrepreneur. He is also accepting the challenges to challenge us to think about social justice, and he does it very creative with the culinary arts. And he is just a genius in that, and it's a way to think outside the box, a different way of accepting the challenges that we see in our community today. So let's give it up for our keynote speaker, Ryan.